welcome to the Scale Modelling Cafe, and well, welcome from a cold, wet, and rainy Saudi Arabia. I've been working really hard actually in the week. I'm on this course learning to train Wizzos. Really cool stuff. We're doing some really gnarly fast jet type tactics and stuff, air to air, air to ground, and it's great fun. But oh my goodness me, is it hard work, having to fly the aeroplane, be the pilot and be the Wizzo at the same time, and then adding the instructional bit over the top. And obviously the lads in the back, they're doing it in their second language, so we effectively have a script with keywords. So trying to think of the actual exact words is capacity sapping, to say the least. So it's a bit draining. So last night I actually slept for 10 hours, but woken up by the thunder and lightning in the middle of it. Wow, Saudi Arabia, everyone just thinks it's hot and sunny all the time, but no, we actually have thunderstorms, rain, and we have winters out here. But it's a blessed relief from the heat. It really is. We love this time of year. Right, anyway, I'm massively digressing. All that has meant that modelling time has been at a premium, and the time to do these videos and updates has also been at a premium. So apologies for that. I'm just going to get some videos out as and when. Some of the videos that have gone out is I did a sprue tour of this, which is actually the current project. More of that in a minute. They do like their glossy boxes, do Clearprop. This is the i16 Type 5. This is 1938 to 1941. So some really nice early war schemes on this. You'll see if you go back and watch that sprue tour that it's a beautiful little kit. The equal of Edward, who I think are, arguably one of the best manufacturers in the world. So kudos to Clearprop. Anyway, so before I get on to the progress of where I am with that, the channel then, so yeah, I've done that sprue tour, that's gone up. This has been the first update for a while, and part 7 of the Antonov Colt, the Hobby Boss 48 scale kit, the post-apocalyptic Death Punch 2, that went up last Sunday. I've had some really nice comments actually, so thank you very much for those. And yeah, what involved project? So 7 episodes on that one. That's about sort of 3.5, 4 hours worth of me blaring on. But it was such a complicated, detailed model. It was very difficult on what do I include and what do I leave out. And I've had 1 or 2 comments, oh, I wish you could have shown this and wish you could have shown that. That's right. I mean, I could have done 30 episodes on this, frankly, but I had to make an editorial decision. If I do a biplane next, and I do have a few projects in mind, I do want to do a biplane at some stage, then I will do the rigging on that and show that if I can. That was I've had a few comments saying, oh, wish you could have shown the rigging. So yeah, I'll take that all on board. All suggestions are always very welcome. So like I said, that went up last Sunday, and that's that project finished. So part 1 of the Polycarp 516 is going to go up this Sunday at 6 o'clock UK time. That is a neat segue to, here it is, the progress on this beautiful little model kit. The detail inside and out is phenomenal. The cockpit detail, I put some pictures up on the Facebook page. The pictures don't really do it justice. It looks at the painting looks a little bit exaggerated, a little bit clunky. That's because it is so small. It really is. Tiny little tubby aeroplane. But anyway, so you can see the detail on that. I did buy the Yahoo instrument panel for it, but to be honest, it's buried so far in and the deck will work really well. And I thought, I'm not going to bother with the Yahoo one, I'm just going to use the kit one. The fit is lovely. I did use a bit of filler on the wing to fuselage and the tailplane to fuselage join. Not because there are any gaps, there weren't, but there was a join line, and looking at photos, I couldn't see a join line on any of the photos, so I think it was all one, maybe one moulded piece. I don't know how they made this thing. So I ended up using filler on that, but that was literally, as I said, not because there are any gaps at all. It fits beautiful. Beautifully. I just wanted to eliminate any sign of that. Putting the wings to the fuselage together though, I did have a bit of a problem. Something was getting in the way. The bottom of the wing, there are 3 fuselage structure parts that go across the bottom, and then the cockpit floor sits on top of that, and then the whole thing kind of goes up from underneath with the cockpit floor and the seat and everything on the wing. And something was fouling. Those bits that go across the bottom, they kind of curl up at the sides, and that is a continuation of the fuselage formers that are moulded into the fuselage halves. And I think it's actually very positive where they locate, but I was rushing a bit, and I think they just kind of moved a bit and then dried in place, so they were fouling. So what I did is the bit on the floor, those structural parts that go up, I sliced those off. I glued them into the fuselage because there are recesses for where they're supposed to go, and then it just fitted beautifully. It just clicked into place. So that solved that. Tiny bit of a step at the bottom, and again, there's no panel line there or anything. It's continuous. So I put some filler on that and then sanded the whole thing smooth to get rid of any sort of contour or anything there. That worked really well. I was really pleased with how that turned out. But I did have a problem with the cowl front. So on the front here, the 2 sides sort of bit of the engine covers go on. They fitted lovely. Then the engine sort of, you need to put the engine in first, then put the 2 sides on, and then put the top on, which is actually clear because there's 2 little inspection windows behind the windscreen. So that's a nice touch. All that fits lovely, and then the front cowling bit goes on the front, and I had a bit of a gap there, so I trimmed a few bits and pieces, wedged it on there, but there was still a gap, so that had some filler. I used the Mr. Hobby epoxy. That all got sanded down, and you can see the line where the contour's slightly different, but that doesn't matter because this is going to have the metallic strip put on. I'm going to use some of the Ammo aluminium foil. I might even use the chrome foil because it was very shiny, that strap. So that was that. What is a really nice touch is the like the shutter, cooling shutter thing that goes in front of the engine behind the cowling, that actually moves if you don't glue it. So I used that as a bit of a mask and just moved it out the way after I finished painting, which was cool. Painting, I mixed the blue from the tail from MRP AMT7 with a few drops of X4 blue to darken it down because it's a kind of a mid bright blue colour. The white wing bands are MRP, or is MRP. The underside is MRP. It's an FS number 270, I think, something like that. And the green is a mixed green. This wasn't AMT, whatever it is, like the olive green. This particular aeroplane, it was a dark green, and I don't really know what that was. So I mixed it up from RLM 80 and IJN green. One of them was Tamiya, one of them was from Guns, I can't remember. Gloss varnish, the GX3, the decals, there's only 6 decals, national markings and the buzz number on the side. They were beautiful. The decals printed in Ukraine. I've had a look at the decal sheet and it's so tiny, the logo, I can't make it out. I think it might be something like Eurograph or something like that. It's not Cartograph, it's printed in Ukraine. and they are beautiful. They went down lovely. And it's had some VMS satin varnish over the top, and that's where I am with this. So the next job is to do the weathering, which I'm going to start tomorrow. Give a chance for the varnish to properly harden overnight, and this is very close to completion. The only real disaster I've had with it is I've snapped the bloody tail skid in half, and it's tiny. I tried drilling all the way through, but I wasn't accurate enough, went off the side, so the pin that I used, I pinned it, I only went in halfway, and it snapped where the end of the pin is, which is such a pain in the hoop. So that's going to have to be butt jointed and sanded, and it's going to be actually quite delicate. If Master did an actual brass replacement, that'd be awesome. So come on, Master, if you're watching, give us one of them. But yeah, other than that, just thoroughly enjoying it. It just, a few little self-induced issues aside, it's just fallen together, and as I said, the detail is amazing. I can't stop waxing lyrical. In this little box here, I've got all the other dangly bits. So the undercarriage has been done. They're actually really complicated, but go together really well. They're all painted. Wheels are done. The windscreen is done. I've gone for the open canopy fixed windscreen because that's kind of iconic, isn't it, really? Rather than the enclosed sliding forward canopy. And the prop, that's done as well. So yeah, like I say, next job, weathering, my favourite bit. As for the videos on that, as I said, so part 1 is going to go up on Sunday. That's the introduction, and then it all depends when if I've got any time at all to do any editing. Maybe not. Definitely not this week. I might be able to get some done next week. We'll have to see. I might have an extra day off next week, which would be nice. Right, there we go. That's it for the project. On to a bit of news then. So, yeah, this week, large is the theme. So, in no particular order, 32nd scale, F111 cockpit by ResKit. So, the escape capsule. So, I'm sure most of you are aware, rather than having ejection seats, not ejector seats, ejection seats, the whole sort of cockpit was ejected. And I don't know if you follow the Aircrew Interview YouTube channel. Really nice young chap on there. Some really interesting pilots and Wizzos, backseaters, navigators, call them what you like, on there. And he's done a recent one with an F111 guy who was in, well, I nearly said Granby. We call it Granby. They call it Desert Storm. Really interesting bloke. Some hoofing dits, including an ejection. But that is a super detailed kit. It looks like it's been 3D printed and then it'll be cast, or maybe it'll just, some of the parts will remain 3D printed. The detail's phenomenal. It looks like it's got some kind of Red Fox Studios Quinta type instruments to go with it. Lots of photo etch. Just a beautiful thing. It comes on a stand, but I really quite fancy doing a diorama with that. Maybe with a collapsed parachute and a couple of guys high-fiving or shaking hands, something like that. I think that'd be really quite neat. And chance to do some like proper weathering on that. Yeah, so that's that first one. The second one is Academy have just announced a UH-1Y Huey in 35th scale. Hot on the heels, well, not that hot on the heels, but the natural segue for their Cobras to bring that out. That's going to look really nice, and I'm really tempted by that. I'm also tempted by the Apaches as well. Oh, these big things. How on earth, if I do one of those, how am I going to get it back in one piece? I have absolutely zero idea. But there we go. I've got an idea for a diorama with an Apache with the folded, the Takom one with the folded rotor on the back of a tank transporter with some battle damage and stuff. I think that'd be really quite cool. But if you think the Antonov was a long project, effectively 6 modelling episodes, then my goodness me, I wonder how many would be in that. And right, so moving swiftly on, the last one is HPH have announced that their ME323 Gigant is now available to order. It's an absolute snip at €1,900. Now, if you thought the 1/32nd scale Lancaster or B24s, B17s were big, oh crikey, I'm struggling for adjectives to describe how big that model is going to be. And could you imagine a diorama, you know, with sort of Eastern Front or Tunisia, with some tanks rolling out the front and lots of blokes around and logistics and oh crumbs. I mean, I suppose you need to get a 32nd scale tanks, not 35th, because actually the difference is more than you think. But yeah, what an epic model that would be. And no, I'm not going to get one. I think I'll stick with one of these. Actually, it's kind of the opposite of that, isn't it? There we go. So that's a little bit of news this week. The last thing I'll just mention, talking in the news, is Airfix have announced a range of tea and coffee. Would you believe it? I'm going to get some of that. Scale Modeling Cafe. It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying that out. I'm learning a lot about coffee out here. The Australians out here are absolutely obsessed with coffee, and you know, they kind of look. You know, your machine only costs £2,500. Amateur. They take it really seriously. So I've learned an awful lot about coffee. So yeah, I'm going to get some of that, and that'll be quite fun as well as nice. Right, there we go. That's quite a nice note to finish on, really, isn't it? A bit of Airfix tea and coffee. Look out for episode 1 of this little beauty on Sunday. Just keep your eye on the channel. If you hit the notification bell and all that, you know, begging for likes crap that I hate, but because it's going to be a bit sporadic, if you do hit that little notification thing, you'll know when it drops. That's the only thing. I hate all that like subscribe crap. Everyone knows how YouTube works, and if you want to subscribe. I'm not gonna beg for it. Right, there we go. Waffle. Thank you very much for watching. No idea when I'll be back, but hopefully not too long. So I'll see you then. Bye bye.